Alright, plenty to get into today. Yo, what's going on, friends? Welcome on back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you lot all doing well today, dear friends. I really do hope that. Talking about Chelsea news today, I'm going to be citing an article from Football.London speaking about certain stories from around the world of Chelsea, according to the rags. Settle in, friends. Consider dropping a like on the video if you want to show your support, and maybe even subscribe if you're yet to subscribe. You might like it. Daily content here, of course, on Football Therapy, and this is the perfect opportunity to let you guys know this video is brought to you by my sponsor, OneFootball. OneFootball is an application on your phone, or indeed a website, where you can find out everything in the world of football, whether it's statistics, lineup, match fixtures, transfer news, general news, all of it totally free. You can check it out by clicking the link in the description to this video. I use it on the regs, you can too, and all clicks on the link help me out, so do go check out the link in the description for OneFootball. Alright then, let's get into it. Cool, so I'm going to pick a few stories from this Football.London update for Chelsea Football Club. Take you through it, talk about the likes of Tchouameni, Thiago Silva could be banned. Oh, interesting, sensational headlines, as well as perhaps Man City also looking at Declan Rice. First off, let's start by talking about Tchouameni. That's right, the midfielder from Monaco that everybody is talking about, linked to all sorts of clubs, including Real Madrid, who of course have just signed Eduardo Camavinga. So Tchouameni could still come to the Premier League. Let's jump into this article from Football.London and hear what they have to say. Chelsea bolstered their midfield options on transfer deadline day by securing the loan capture of Atletico Madrid star Saul Niguez for the season. The 26-year-old, who is set to make his debut for the Blues at the weekend against Aston Villa, comes into Thomas Tuchel's squad despite the German coach already having an array of options in the centre of midfield. An array of options? 3 decent options going into 4 slots in a multitude of competitions. Hardly an array of options. There's an option to buy Saul should he impress at Stamford Bridge this season for £34 million, but Chelsea director Marina Granovskaya could turn her attention elsewhere if things do not work out for the Spain international in London. Not just that, there is speculation that perhaps there is still a chance that Jorginho might leave Chelsea. Maybe a small chance, but if he does, Chelsea will need more midfielder options. Tchouameni has been linked with a move to the Blues in recent months, with the Monaco midfielder having less than 3 years remaining on his current contract at the Stade Louis. The 21-year-old is highly rated around Europe already and is reportedly attracting interest from Chelsea as well as Premier League rivals Manchester United. Football journalist Duncan Castles, when speaking on Reach PLC's Transfer Window podcast recently, said Monaco currently value Tchouameni around €40 million, which of course is £34 million. United already have Paul Pogba at their disposal, but the France international recently entered the final 12 months of his contract at Old Trafford and could leave in January or free transfer in the summer. Article goes on to talk about how he's linked to both Chelsea and Manchester United. To be honest, Manchester United, as things stand, are looking for a more sort of CDM type midfielder anyway, of course being heavily linked also with Declan Rice. And if you ask any Manchester United fan, most of them say, we need a midfielder, we need a CDM. They all talk like that. Man United almost certainly are going in for said midfielder. Tchouameni could be that guy. Chelsea, of course, now have Saul, Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho to play the double six, with potential returnee Billy Gilmour to play a rotational role or try and fight for a place. They, of course, have options, but Chelsea have looked at Tchouameni, and perhaps seeing what goes on with Saul, seeing what goes on with Jorginho and his contract, etc., they'll probably want to keep tabs on the young French midfielder. So let's stick on midfielders for just a moment and have a moment to talk about Declan Rice. The next part of this Football.London article references Manchester City, Pep Guardiola's merry men, targeting Declan Rice for the next summer. Now, since Pep Guardiola has announced his desire to leave Manchester City, I don't think he'll do so much long-term planning. Obviously, Declan Rice is a long-term sort of purchase. He's a young player. He'll play in that midfield for a long time. He could really be the long-term successor for Fernandinho at the base of that Man City midfield. I think if you offered it to Declan Rice, perhaps if he can't go back to his boyhood Chelsea, if you probably offer him the option of Manchester United and Man City, there is a strong likelihood he'd probably choose to go to Man City to play with that elite squad, maybe play for under Pep Guardiola for a season or something. It probably can be quite alluring. Me as a Chelsea fan, I would still quite like Declan Rice to come to Chelsea. I think he's such an excellent player, watching him for England. And in the Premier League, he can really grab hold of a midfield and put in a performance and quite, dominate, which is a really great thing. But of course, Chelsea have immense midfield options, and I don't know, maybe Tchouameni could be just as good. There is a value to, of course, players playing in the Premier League and performing in the Premier League, and performing in Ligue 1. There's a big difference. And of course, Declan Rice is a vocal leader on the pitch. So it is an alluring prospect, and him going to Man City obviously strengthens them quite a lot. And you could probably say even more so him going to Manchester United, because they are absolutely crying out for Declan Rice. Should Man United, if you drop Declan Rice into that Man United team now, they are so complete. So hopefully he stays away from both. We'll see what happens. Right, this next story is interesting. Thiago Silva potentially facing a ban from FIFA. Let's have a little read and find out what's going on here then. Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel faces an uneasy weight over Thiago Silva's availability for their game with Aston Villa this weekend. The Brazilian, like a number of South American players plying their trade in England, was not allowed to leave the club for international duty after the Premier League made a unanimous decision to withdraw permission for players linking up with their national team. While some follow the guidelines laid down by the league, others, such as Spurs duo Lo Celso and Romero, still chose to travel, a decision that has proven hugely controversial after the shocking scenes witnessed in Sao Paulo earlier this week. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, go look it up. Absolutely mental. Health officials storming the football pitch to deport 4 players. I actually reacted to this story on my second channel, Football Yannick. You can go check that out by clicking the second link down in the can't talk. Down in the description. It's a sensational story. Silva himself was not involved during the game between Brazil and Argentina, and so is not required to self-isolate, having stayed in the UK, but Chelsea could still be without his services nonetheless. As per the BBC, FIFA can ban players not released for an international window for a period of 5 days after the window ends. Indeed, this would keep Silva out of Chelsea's upcoming clash against Aston Villa should the governing body elect to uphold those laws. A decision over whether to issue a ban for any players has not yet been announced, just 4 days before Chelsea's home game with Aston Villa. So this is weird. He shouldn't have gone there, but because he stayed, he could face a ban. Am I being stupid here? Do you understand? Do you know what's going on? Comment down below if you understand this better than I do. European Clubs Association Chief Executive Charlie Marshall has appealed to FIFA to announce any decision sooner rather than later. He said, "This has to be sorted out within the next 24 hours. Liverpool and the other clubs need to know if they can play their Brazilian players or not. If FIFA is not going to sanction the clubs, then they need to tell them." I mean, honestly, Thomas Tuchel would probably turn to Thiago Silva for this game against Aston Villa, purely on the premise of, yes, Andreas Christensen has been magnificent for Chelsea, and indeed Denmark. This guy is soaring easily in the form of his career. I can't talk, guys. Easily in the form of his career, Andreas Christensen. So I think at the moment, of course, he is probably first choice over Silva, which is no easy feat. But because Silva's been home training at Cobham, preparing for the opposition in Aston Villa, I think probably Thomas Tuchel would turn to Thiago Silva over the fatigued Andreas Christensen, who of course hasn't been at Cobham training and preparing for this particular match. It would have made sense to play Thiago Silva. But if he's going to be banned, that could cause big problems. It could also cause problems for Liverpool with like Fabinho and Firmino and stuff like that. So there's, lots of problems there. Anyway, hopefully that doesn't come to pass. At the end of the day, we've got loads of players training and preparing for said match at Cobham, including Sal Niguez. Alonso's there, who's been playing a lot recently, of course. I guess Chilwell's there as well. I wonder if he'll finally get his first start of the season. Other players too. I think Kante must have returned. Lukaku will be back soon. So hopefully Lukaku will be good to play on the weekend. Fingers crossed. I'll be keeping tabs on that. So make sure you keep it locked here to Football Therapy to find out. In fact, I'm going to wind it in here, so let me know what you think, guys. Comment down below. I always urge you guys to drop your comments on the videos, and please do drop a like, because it does help me out a lot in the dark, deep abyss that is the YouTube algorithm. Consider subbing if you're new, friends. Other than that, I'm out, so enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.